Oh, it looks like we are live. Yay!
Good morning.
It's Monday morning. We are all here together to welcome you to Monday Momentum. It's our favorite day of the week because this is when we get together and inspire each other. And we're glad to have you here because we're hoping that we're going to inspire you a little bit too. So, my name is Sarah Coolidge. I want to tell you the idea behind all of this, which is that momentum is something that carries you from where you are to where you will end up. And if you want it to be a good place, a place that you've planned for, a place that you've dreamed about, it's really important to set it and set it in the right direction. So if you think of yourself on a hill, somebody's got a car at the top of that hill, they give it a little nudge, goes down, and it gets going faster and faster and faster. And if it's the wrong hill in the wrong direction, that's really a If it's the right hill in the right direction, you get it at the bottom and you're happy because that's where you want it to go. So we start our week with good momentum because we want to slide into Friday feeling really good about what we did. So we're glad to see you. We'll have our guests introduce each other, and then we're going to have a great topic today. Linda's going to be spotlighted. So go ahead, James. Introduce yourself.
Morning. I'm James McFadden. I'm a marketing strategist, systems person, and we're getting ready to launch seemespace.com here in T-minus 2 weeks at the next CEO Space in Las Vegas, coming up in 2 weeks, everybody, 2 weeks. And online project incubator to help you get your project launched and to connect with like-minded entrepreneurs and others who are seeking success.
Great, thank
Linda.
you, Jim.
All right, good morning from New Hampshire. I am Linda Kay, and I have been a web designer since 2003. And what I do is I really help my clients understand their visitors and create their websites so it's a good user experience. I do everything from initial design to launching a website, and especially making sure that it's optimized for smartphones, because today that is so important. And part of our topic for the day.
Great, thank you, Linda. So you guys, if you don't know already, and I'm sure most of you do, this is where we all live now. Not my dirty phone, but in a phone. It's basically where everybody's doing their research. They're checking out, what restaurant should I go to? Where can I go to get my car fixed? Who can I get to help me with my website? They're looking here. They're not looking at computers anymore. And really, 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 if you don't have your website up, period, if you don't have a website, you really need to call Linda. But let's say you do and you've had it for a while. The chances are it's not optimized for mobile. And if it's not optimized for mobile, you are going to be left behind. It's as simple as that. If you know that the majority of your market is looking here for you and you're not there, how are they going to find you? Kind of crazy. So sorry, but you got to get there. And the good news is a lot of you already are, and you already know that. But what we're going to talk about today is how to check if you are, if you're not sure if your website is mobile friendly or not. And then, how easy is it to get it switched? And so, Linda, could you give us, maybe first start off, how can somebody find out if their website is optimized for mobile, or if it's mobile friendly, or if it's responsive, all those other terms that we hear all the time? How can someone find out if they're not sure?
Well, before we go find out, let's talk about what it really needs. On April 21st of this year, Google decided that they were going to stop the rankings of websites appearing on mobile phones for websites that are not, and I'm going to not use buzzwords, I'm going to say that just look terrible on smartphones. It's when you call up a website and the text is so teeny tiny you can't read it. You have to pinch and zoom, and you have to work your way around the screen to try and get any information. And that is just not a good user experience. And Google knows that. So Google's thing is to provide relevant content. It's to provide a good user experience. Because if you are going to websites in your smartphones, you're doing a search, Google's serving up a page that you can't even read. It's not the good experience, and you're going to bail out and you're going to go looking for another one. So as I said, April 21st was a date that they keep doing their new algorithm, and it's ranking mobile-friendly websites differently than it is when you do a search from your desktop.
So are you saying that, forgive me, that Google is actually kind of taking control and saying we care more, well, maybe not more, but we really care about our customers, and our customers are people that are doing searches. So if you're not going to be able to please our customers with your website, we're not going to put you anywhere near the top. So it's not just that this puppy is where people are looking now and you want to be there, but on top of it, Google is giving you a kick, saying, yeah, you really need, if you want us to pay attention to you too, not just your customers, but Google, you need to be optimized for this little guy. So
that's 100% accurate. Google has always been about delivering the best user experience, and that's why they have such a big focus on trying to prevent spam and all these other techniques that don't deliver good user experience. So a lot of website owners are ticked off that Google has done this, and they have seen, you know, their traffic plummet because people on mobile phones are not getting to their site, and their business relies on Google sending them traffic. So don't be mad at Google. Google's trying to do a good thing. Google's trying to enhance the user experience, so get on board with it.
Well, it's like you said. I mean, when you go to a website on your mobile phone and it's not mobile optimized, and you have to zoom in and you have to scroll and sweep back and forth, it really is frustrating. And so I've done this so many times that you know, where I've gone to people's sites and I can't even find a phone number. So, which is, I think, probably one of the #1 things that you're looking for when you're searching and pulling up websites on your mobile phone.
well, and for me, it's kind of a clue. Like, okay, this business is behind the times, so I'm not sure I want to do business with them. And it's too bad, but that's kind of the message that it sends when you can't see their site well on the phone. I mean, the last time it happened to me, it turned out the whole business was no longer in existence, but their site was still up. So, you know, that's perhaps part of it too. And if that's what your customers are thinking, oh, they must be out of business, they're not even going to look at you anymore, that's really scary.
Well, if you know the URL, Google is still going to deliver that website.
Yeah.
So how do you get people to either key in your URL directly to find your website, or do you rely on search? So even if people are getting to your website and it's a bad experience, they are not going to stay. So I think what I would love to talk about today is, why do people on a cell phone go to a website? What are they searching for? You know, James, when you call up a website, are you looking for everything, including the kitchen sink, to be on that smartphone?
No, I'm looking for directions, a map. I'm looking for an address, or I'm looking for a phone number. I might be looking for some very specific information to see if they might provide something. But ultimately, I usually already know what it is I'm looking for, and a phone number is the main thing I'm trying to find.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I think it's a really great question, Linda. I'm glad you brought it up. That, you know, for me, it's usually, okay, I need to get somewhere, I need to get there fast. Tell me how to get there, and tell me if you can do what it is I need. That's why I'm using my phone. If I'm doing research at home because I'm planning a trip in 3 months, you know, that's completely different. So it's a really good question to ask. What is it that people use their phones? I mean, a lot of people use their phones nonstop for everything, but the majority, at least, if they're going to do it here, they're going to do it looking for a phone number and an address.
Absolutely, especially if you're on the road. So when somebody has a 50 or 100-page website and they're freaking out going, Google is not going to serve up my website, how do I convert this 50 or 100 pages? They're in a panic, and you know what? They really don't need to be, because there are options. So Google does have a mobile-friendly test, the question that you answered, or asked 5 minutes ago. They do have a mobile test, and if you do a search on it, it's under developers.google.com /webmasters, and it's the mobile sites friendly search. Rather than give you the whole URL, just Google it. Google.
Developers. Say it again, please, Linda. I'm going to put it in the chat box. And then I can put it up on the live feed. Developers what?
Well, it's developers.google.com.
Okay.
The main site. But if you search that, and you can navigate through. But the best thing to do is just search mobile-friendly test. That's going to get you directly to where you need to go. So basically, there are 3 types of mobile-friendly websites. One is the most current modern technique, which is called responsive. And what it's going to do is it's going to take your website and it's going to automatically adjust it and reformat it for different sizes. And what that requires is current web design. It requires someone taking the time to convert your website into this modern technology using CSS so it can automatically resize. So if you've got that 100-page website, that 50-page website, whatever it happens to be, you're looking at converting your entire website. And that's great. People can have a good user experience on those 50 to 100 pages, but like James said, is that really what they're looking for? So a more inexpensive technique might be to selectively decide which pages you're going to display in a mobile format. So it keeps people on your same website, but what it does is it only delivers certain pages. And those pages can be remade to fit better on smartphone devices. So maybe I'm only doing my contact information, maybe I'm only doing my services, maybe I'm only doing a few pages of conversion. And I want to say the benefits of that really is that you're keeping the same URL. And Google is coming in and they're saying, did you want this to go mobile? Yes. Did you want this to go mobile? No. And they'll show what they want to show for the different devices. It works. You only have to update your content in one place, so that's great. But what I want to talk about next is a different type of mobile friendly. It's a one-touch access. It's having either icons or buttons on your website. And with that one touch of a button, it's keying in the phone number ready for you to dial. One touch of a button, it's putting that map in there ready for you to drive to that location. It's one-touch access only to the things that are really important to people that are on a smartphone. And it's something that can be done fairly quickly. Now, there's a downside to that. Downside to that is that you have to maintain 2 separate URLs on that. So it would be like an m.yourwebsite or yourwebsite.mobi or whatever URL that you want to put into it. So can you see the difference in those 3 techniques? I know James probably recognizes the value of doing it the 1 of 3 ways, but you know the answer is that Google doesn't care which way you do it. But I'd love to hear James's thought on how those display.
I think from a user end perspective, you're not going to notice the difference between pages that are optimized for mobile, where it goes to a different URL that's automatically detected by your phone, as opposed to a responsive site. I know for some sites to go to responsive, that's going to be a lot of work. But there are some simple ways of either having someone take those specific pages and create a redirect for those mobile pages, or just like you said, take those very specific pages and just make those responsive. But make sure that there's a redirect in there, because Google's going to see that redirect, and then it's going to also see that. And the main thing is that Google looks at, it's going to look at those dimensions that are going to fit into a common smartphone, and it's going to look to see if there's a bunch of stuff extending off to the sides. That's really what the algorithm's looking for. Is there information off to the sides of that window that you would be looking at? If in a responsive site there's absolutely zero information hanging off on either side. So
that's the scrolling side to side, which is so annoying.
Right, right, or zooming in and out with your fingers or whatever that might be, to find or see all that information. So that's the main thing that they're going to be looking at. And I don't think from an end user's perspective, whether it's separate pages that are made as landing pages for mobile, or whether you take your entire site and you make it responsive, if it wasn't built responsive to begin with, then that's going to be a big task. And I think that's maybe what keeps people, or what causes people to worry the most. They don't realize that you can just take some of those very basic 4 to 6 pages that most people are going to key into right away, that you make those mobile responsive, you have a redirect to those pages, and then Google sees that if a mobile phone comes here, they're going to get a nice, clean, very well formatted page on your phone.
So forgive me, because I may be the least tech savvy of the three of us. I probably am. Is there a continuum here, kind of, that, you know, you got a tight budget, you're like me, you don't understand it very much, but you get it that you need to pay attention to it. Is there a sort of a minimum, and is that what you were talking about, maybe, Linda, with the buttons for your phone, your address, maybe, I don't know, contact us or something like that? Is that maybe like a minimum that you could do all the way up to redo your whole site? And if somebody is, James just said, can we reassure them, or am I misunderstanding you completely?
No, absolutely. There are different techniques to creating this. Sometimes, if your website is already on WordPress, you can simply go into your control panel, click a little bit of button, and it automatically generates pages that are optimized for smartphones. Not every hosting control panel has that. Not all pages look great when they do that. It's not going to be as pretty, but it is going to be readable, and it is going to pass that Google mobile-friendly test.
So that's a free option if you're in WordPress, is that right?
Right.
Yeah, good. So there's something. It's not perfect, but it's better than nothing, and Google will recognize it.
Absolutely.
Cool.
And there are also the push-button types. I do a lot of those for people. They're fairly inexpensive. They are graphically appealing. They are one touch to all your important information. And I think that's really what it's about, is going back to what is the purpose of my website? What are visitors thinking when they land on that website? And what are they thinking now if they're on a mobile device versus a larger desktop device? What is their intent for gathering information? And if you want to improve that visitor experience, then by all means, you need to pay attention to how it looks to them on what device they're using. And I hear so often, but I don't use a smartphone. I don't care.
Everybody else does. Yeah.
Everyone else does. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, especially the younger generation, smartphones are way more, and social media in general, used in other countries than, I mean, there are people in other countries that use them way more than we do, let's put it that way. So if you have any kind of international presence, you sure don't want to not be paying attention to that. And they're not going away. It's not going away. And it's if anything, it's going to become more and more crucial that you stay on top of this if you want to stay in business. And it doesn't mean that, you know, say you've got your business that you've had for 50 years, you're, you know, getting ready to retire, you might be able to squeak on out of here without doing the website electronical technological thing. Depends on your service, on your customer base, and if you're willing to stick with it and not make any changes. But for anybody else, you think that you can build a great business without it, I think you are fooling yourself and you will regret it later. Sorry.
You mentioned an international business. One of the beauties of these little touch button sites is one touch of a button and you can convert your site from English to another language. It's just incredible that you no longer have to recode an entire website, that these translation systems, especially on these little push-button devices, just convert the website for you so easily. So you can build that more global audience and not just be, you know, local-centric.
I'm just going to throw in there, if you are targeting a global audience, if you are truly trying to reach Spanish speakers, for instance, don't count on that doing the work for you. You really do want to look at having a real translation done, because it's doing the best it can, but it's not perfect. It's good enough for stumbling, but it's not good enough for really running fast with another language. That's just my 2 cents worth on that.
Yes, but when they're looking for basic information, that's basic
information. Yeah. Just gone.
Yeah, basic information, and there are some language translation. What do they call them?
Systems?
MOPO. That's what I keep thinking in my head. Yeah, there's some language you can actually install, just like English. You install the language on your site. So when someone selects the language, it literally does a full translation, not just like that Google translation. So. Yeah, you know, it's one thing if you have an article full of text. Yes, it's not gonna necessarily translate it perfectly. Where you have a lot of text, yes, you're going to want to step into having someone translate those and rewrite them possibly. But for the majority of information you're going to be pulling off a phone, surprisingly, there are a lot of you install the language on your site, and it does the rest. So it's getting pretty savvy in that area.
Yeah, and I imagine, you know, just like all this other stuff, it's going to get better and better. I just wanted to caution people to not assume that it's perfect, because it's not. And, you know, if you are literally wanting to build your business in Latin America, you must make sure that translation is accurate, or you won't build your business.
Yeah.
So, just to check in with you, of course I got to do this so I can even see what time it is. So we only have 5 minutes left, and I wanted to make sure, Linda, I'm sure you had other things you wanted to say, and maybe you're feeling like, oh my gosh, it's over already. Is there something special or really important that you would like to add in here at the end?
Well, I just think it's so important to really emphasize the purpose of a website. You know, so many times people say to me, I need a website, or I need a mobile-friendly website. Well, why do you need it? Most of the time, it's that you need the traffic it's going to bring to you. So if you're not playing by the rules and you're not delivering a good user experience, you're not going to be getting that traffic sent to your cell phone. So it's really important to step back, take a look, and say, what is the purpose of my website? Who is my target audience? what devices is my target audience going to be using? You know, if you're doing retirement homes, you might think that your target audience is senior citizens and they're not going to be on a cell phone, but you know what? It's the kids.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. It's usually the younger, the kids that are going to be looking for that.
Absolutely. So you really got to take a look at who your target audience is, what devices they're going to be searching for, and what is their sole purpose for landing on that web page. Is it, as you know, James emphasized, so simple as I need the phone number, I need the driving directions, I need some quick and simple things, or is it I'm in research mode and I want to find out more about the website, and I want to scour all 50 or 100 pages of this website, and all the pages need to look great on a smartphone. So really take a look at who your target audience is, what's the information that they need to get, and is it important that Google sends you traffic to visitors on smartphones?
So I love that, Linda, and I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here. I'm assuming when you said that a minute ago that someone will maybe contact you and say, I need a website, I need this, I need that, and your answer might be to them, why do you need it? Do you have tools and you know, things that you do to help them flesh that out? You know,
you know, there's a couple different types of web designers, and some create pretty designs, and some are really technical and nerdy and create very efficient designs. And then there's those of us that are in the middle that try and balance the two. So when you come to me and you say you need a website or you want to optimize your website for display on a mobile device, I'm going to step through the process for you. I'm going to help understand not only who you are and what business you're in, but really who your target clients are and what are they thinking when they land on your website. So I've got a whole series of questions that I ask, you know, different tools that I run to take a look and see where you're at and what you need to do. And, you know, it's not cookie cutter. It's not, or shouldn't be, one size fits all.
That's great. You have taught me a lot this morning, and I'm thinking about, you know, the websites that I'm working on. So, yay! So we are out of time. Why don't you go ahead and sign off there, James, and then pass it to Linda, and I'll close it out.
Well, good Monday morning to everybody. It's bound to be a great week. Get it started. Get excited. Don't lose momentum. My name's James McFadden, and you can reach me at james@seemespace.com. Look for the launch of seemespace.com, the full launch, new look, new everything. If you go there now, it's not there. We've got it. We're going to unroll it here in 2 weeks, T-minus 2 weeks in Las Vegas. So james@seemespace.com, marketing specialist and systems person.
Linda?
Okay, well, it's not only Monday momentum today, but obviously it's Mobile Monday. So I want you guys to think about what kind of experience you're delivering to your customers when they find you on smartphones, whether they're keying in your URL directly or you're lucky enough to have Google serve up website visitors. It's really important, and when you think about that, think about me, Linda Kay, Linda@lindakaye.com, and I can help you out with your mobile. It doesn't have to be expensive. We have different options that we can use for you, so get back to me. Great.
Thank you, Linda and James. And, you know, I'm sitting here listening and thinking, I'll share a little secret. I think Linda was kind of nervous about taking over and really running the show, and I think she kicked it. She was great. She had really good ideas, really good content, and she steered us away from what she didn't want us to talk about. So, yippee for you. And if you guys haven't noticed out there in the real world, every single one of us, if you get close enough here, we have some gray hair. We are not little babies that grew up with these puppies in our hands. So for those of you who are a little bit nervous still about this whole brave new world, you know, we're here fighting it out, and you can do it too. So yay for us, yay for you for being here on Monday. Have a fabulous week. If you want to find me, I'm right there, Sarah Coolidge, CEOSpacewest.com. We will be back next Monday to help you have another great week. So go out there and rock it. We'll see you later. Bye.
Have a good day, everybody.